Hi, guys. So it's story time, and I picked a story that takes place in a garden. And one of the characters is actually trying to plant some stuff in his own garden. So I thought this book would fit perfectly with what we've been talking about this week. We've also read a story that involves these two characters before. I read it a couple weeks ago, and it's called The Very Noisy Night. Now, the characters from that book are in this book. So let's read about what they're going to do this time. This book is called The Very Busy Day, and it's written by Diana Hendry and illustrated, or the pictures are done by Chapman. So let's find out what makes their day so busy. It was a hot, sunny day, and Big Mouse was digging in the garden. So he's making his own garden. Little Mouse sat on the swing wearing his sun hat. There's a lot of digging to do, said Big Mouse. Come and help me, Little Mouse. I'm too busy to help, said Little Mouse. I'm dreaming up something. And he swung up and down, up and down. You could plant these seeds, said Big Mouse. If you plant them in the soil, they'll dream up flowers. So he says if you put them in the soil, then flowers are going to come. Said Little Mouse. I'm busy thinking about my own dream. Busy doing nothing, grumbled Big Mouse. So here he is still working. Little Mouse still does not want to help. Little Mouse slid off the swing and jumped into a wheelbarrow. So here is a wheelbarrow, which people use in their garden. It has one wheel in the front and then handles in the back, and you push. He lay and gazed up at the sky. I need that wheelbarrow for the weeds, said Big Mouse. And look at the mess you've made. Uh-oh. Big Mouse tipped Little Mouse out onto the grass. Please, Little Mouse, I need some help. I'm too busy to help, cried Little Mouse, and he ran off and picked some daisies. So he's still not going to help. He's going to go over here and he's going to pick some of these daisies that he's found. Big Mouse picked up all the weeds. He mopped his brow and stretched his back. Phew, it's hot, he puffed. And this wheelbarrow's very heavy all of a sudden. It was very heavy because Little Mouse had jumped back in. He was sitting on top of the weeds making a daisy chain. So he's taking all the daisies and the stems of them and tying them together to make a nice long chain, or like a rope. I'm not pushing you and the weeds, said Big Mouse. Out you go. Come and help me take the weeds to the dump. Little Mouse put the daisy chain around his neck and scrambled out of the wheelbarrow. But he still didn't help Big Mouse. He picked up lots and lots of clover instead. Remember we talked about clover in our Rabbits and Raindrops book? That's what the rabbits would eat. He put some clover in a flower pot on the back doorstep. So those are what the clover looks like. They look like little purple flowers. Big Mouse pushed the wheelbarrow and dumped by himself, muttering angrily. So he is not happy he's doing all this work by himself. Big Mouse went to find his rake. He couldn't see Little Mouse anywhere. Come on, Little Mouse, he called. There's a little rake right here for you. So look, he now has his big rake and a little rake, and he wants Little Mouse to help him. Do you think he's going to finally help? As Big Mouse climbed down a ladder, Little Mouse poked his head out. Can't you see I'm busy, he called. I'm collecting bird feathers. This dream is very hard work. Said Big Mouse. There's dreaming and there's doing. What about a little doing from you? So he's getting angry that Little Mouse is still not helping him. Little Mouse had found 3 snowy white feathers. There they are. 1, 2, 3. He laid them carefully on the doorstep. So over here. Now Big Mouse was busy picking strawberries. Little Mouse, he called, could you help me carry this strawberry down the ladder? So they gotta go down this ladder over here. Can't stop now, said Little Mouse. I need something from the kitchen. So here he is. He's going into the house to find something in the kitchen. The sun made Big Mouse headache, and he felt very annoyed with Little Mouse for not helping him. So he's not very happy with him. What is he doing now? Big Mouse grumbled. Little Mouse rushed out into the yard. Big Mouse, he cried. Look what I've made for you. So his dream was something for Big Mouse, and he had to make him something. What could it be? It's your very own sun hat. Thank you, Little Mouse, said Big Mouse, putting it on his head. Now I can see you've been busy today, too. So look, he added all kinds of stuff to this to make a beautiful hat for Big Mouse. We've both been so busy, said Little Mouse, yawning. There's just time to do one more thing, said Big Mouse. So there they are. Both have their hats on, but there's time for one more thing. And that's to take a nice long nap. Big Mouse and Little Mouse curled up together underneath the leaves. They were sleeping so soundly that Little Mouse's sun hat fell off, and Big Mouse's sun hat slid right down over his nose. So it's big and it's covering his face, and his fell down, and they're laying in a hammock, which is tied between two of these. They look like little stems from the leaves. They're taking a nap. The end. So even though Big Mouse thought he wasn't doing anything, Little Mouse had an idea, and he was busy, and he made a beautiful hat for Big Mouse. Hope you enjoyed the story.